at the Anza Borrego State Park, and it's early and quiet. Just a few state workers here. There's just a kind of a stillness.
It's only the middle of April, right?
Right.
But this is a desert park, and what would you recommend about time of day for hiking?
Very early, because it's gonna get hot as hell. It's already about 76 degrees, and it's only 7 o'clock in the morning. They have a lot of signs saying, "Where the heat?"
Yes, it's really getting warm. And so this time of year we worry a lot about people not having enough water.
Right.
And not realizing that they need to be drinking water all the time and staying cool and doing their hikes earlier in the day if they can.
I mean, are we safe at 7 in the morning?
Yeah, well, for a while. You're safe if you're drinking a lot of water.
What hike would you say is the best hike right now at this time of day?
I love Palm Canyon.
Palm Canyon's
I'd
to
get
the
going
waterfall?
on it really early, like soon. It's a 3-mile loop.
Okay, we better get going.
You should get going. So you're gonna just go back out the way you came in, and your first left will take you down to the campground, and then you just go all the way to the back.
8 a.m. I would have liked to be out here sooner. We're gonna do it. We're gonna chance it. We are at the Palm Canyon Trail. Somebody, I'm not gonna say who, thought that 2 of these would be enough for the trail. It's just at least 1 gallon per person.
We're not going to be here that long, dear.
I don't think we have enough water. You know, this isn't enough for like the first 50 yards.
No, that's not actually true, because there's also an Nalgene bottle.
Yeah, but that's only got like a liter or two. A liter.
Yeah.
They want you to have 1 gallon per person.
Well, let's fill the small bottles again.
Yeah, do you have a small bottle?
I do.
Well, let's drink it now and then fill them again. We have this plus one other plus a Nalgene bottle. At the beginning of the trail, you're in a kind of a badlands surrounded by stark desert mountains and scrubland with cactus and a sort of a sense of looming darkness as the sun rises, and you can feel the sort of bite of the impending heat that will come with the desert day. As if we weren't worried enough about dehydration, we've also got to worry about mountain lions and rattlesnakes. This is really fun. Rocky Trail. Then you discover that there's a stream bubbling through the whole thing, and you can hear it, and it's just cool and beautiful and refreshing and strangely verdant in a desert terrain. The park lady said to keep your eye on the ridges of the mountain because they've been seeing longhorn sheep every day on the edges.
Bighorn sheep?
Longhorn sheep.
Longhorn sheep.
So let's keep moving. The sun is getting higher in the sky and we have no time to wait.
How do you feel to see this water in this dry situation?
It's just beautiful. It's just so wonderful. I don't know what to say. I have no adjectives.
Now, what did the ranger tell us about, say you're on this trail, it's hot, you're out of water.
He said,
should you drink this?
Don't drink from the water unless you're dying. This is the water for the sheep, nobody else.
Now, I do feel a nice cool breeze through here.
I do, but don't be deceived. We're dying.
So we've been to Glacier, Yosemite, Yellowstone. This is one of our first desert parks.
Yeah. And I have been against it for 25 years. I've said, no, the desert, what's in the desert? And now I see there's, first of all, this looming sense of ominous adventure, right? But then there's this delicate beauty of the spring wildflowers and the abundance of birds and the complete silence. And in this hike, there is the rushing of the springs. There's life in all this darkness. But we got to keep moving.
Because there is, of course, the danger of fatal dehydration.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the importance of this feature.
These big boulders provide shade from the otherwise direct light of the sun. It's only 8:30 and it's hot. But look at this landscape. We've got to make it. Moving on.
Okay, Olga Corbett.
Well, let's see if I can do it holding the binocular. Down through. This one is wiggly. 10. Okay, up this way. I'm off the trail. Oh. Green.
So for the middle-aged, slightly overweight, reasonably fit hiker, how would you rate this trail so far?
5 stars. Very modest elevation and grade. Stunning terrain, dramatic, beautiful flowers, water, everything a middle-aged, slightly overweight middle-aged person could want.
Don't forget reasonably fit.
Reasonably fit. Spectacular ferns, bright green. Strange. Sun is getting high and we are no longer in shade.
And so we've been on the trail for about an hour. And now we're on our way where?
We're up to Palm Canyon.
Is that the end of the trail, we understand?
That is the end of the trail. Oh my God.
Pretty. Definitely heading toward an oasis.
The sage and the wildflower and the warmth.
How close are we now to the oasis?
Well, we are approaching it, as you can see. There are the palms.
They talked to us about wearing closed-toe shoes.
Yeah.
Would you recommend that and tell us why?
Do what they say. You can't be wearing flip-flops on this trail. Oh. You're standing in the trail. This is hard. I mean, I have weak wrists and weak ankles. And I have to climb up like this.
But be prepared to do a little scrambling.
Yeah, you do, but it looks pretty good up here. That was the only one, and that was near the end. There is a dramatic contrast between the barrenness of the rocks and the lushness of the palm, and I believe these are one of the few, and maybe the only native California palms, and here they grow. Just a miracle in this stark and rocky place. Did you see Apocalypse Now?
I did. It's very
Like
similar.
there's a tiger gonna jump out at me. You suddenly, out of nowhere, comes these deep green ferns that provide a canopy that gives you a cool sort of cave to traverse before you get to Palm Canyon. It's like a reminiscent of a much more, moist and jungle time. These California fan palms, only palms native to the western United States. It is the largest palm in the state. And what are they doing here? We've reached the end of the trail. This is a little beautiful clearing underneath these palms. And we can hear the sounds of birds above, and it's just very cool and wonderful, and that's why they call it an oasis.
Would you say that this is a worthy goal for the middle-aged, slightly overweight, reasonably fit hiker?
We still have to get back, but we do have half-hour water. The culminating achievement is when we saw 7 sheep.
What are you looking at, Vic?
I'm looking at a young ram. We spotted in the distance a sort of statue, a quietly reposed young ram, his magnificent horns sunning himself in the morning breeze. From beginning to end, the trail is 1.5 miles in, with a slight grade upward to the oasis and having to negotiate some rocks. Very doable. You take the 1.5 miles back much quicker because it's all on a downward grade. You just have to be careful to have appropriate water and to have great hiking shoes. But honestly, I would say it's a modestly challenging trail for people who are, reasonably fit. Anza Borrego is a magnificent combination of the death and dying ruggedness of the desert, punctuated with the beauty of the wildflower, the stream, the palm, and fauna. It has everything.